Visit was great. I'm on my campus tours right now. This was number 6 of 8, and it's been fabulous. You know, this has afforded me an opportunity to get on campus, and outside of taking my daughter to Indiana and my son to Miami, I haven't been on any other campuses for the last 25 years. One of the key takeaways for me is the investment that the member institutions are making in our student athletes. When you think of infrastructure, human capital, resources, wellness, it's just amazing. I think there's obviously more we can always do, but I think we've lost the narrative in what we are doing, and that truly came to light for me when I visited the schools. Today in particular, I mean, the campus is world class. Is when you think about the resources and the investments being made. Casey's leadership is off the charts. Incredible team. Had a chance to spend quite a bit of time with Coach Gundy. He was fabulous. Talked more about life, leadership, how he runs, his football operations. It was very inspiring. He's got a great perspective on things. Obviously, been there for so many years. I also had lunch with all the other coaches, which was great. Met with the student athletes, the SAC representatives. That was truly inspiring for me. Just engaging with the student athletes, getting to better understand their journeys, where they've come from, where they want to go, and how Oklahoma State is truly preparing them to be the best version of themselves. That was fantastic for me. Met with other key stakeholders on campus, the FARs, the SWAs. So it was very educational. And I've really enjoyed this process, getting to know the schools, the leaders, the student athletes, the coaches, everyone that makes this great conference go. And obviously I'll return for some football game in the fall, basketball game for sure, and hopefully other events as well. But for my first visit here, it was off the charts.
I'm gonna get this out of the way. You ever ridden a horse before until today?
I have.
You have? Okay.
Yes, that's why I had no issues about getting on the horse. In fact, I said to them, "Can I ride the horse?" He said, "No, Brett." They were even hesitant with me getting on, but if you saw, I got on pretty easy.
It didn't look like it was your first rodeo.
It was not. It was like getting on a bike, and that was a highlight for me. It was fantastic. So all in all, just a great experience. And tomorrow off to Baylor, and Thursday to West Virginia.
You've talked about before in the past of the TV deals and things like that. And obviously the Big Ten deal was just completed, I think, or is on the verge of being completed. How does that kind of impact you and what you're doing for the Big 12's TV deals?
Well, first of all, congratulations to the Big Ten. I think they did a fantastic job, and one of the things that I took away from it is, they created a partnership with obviously 3 great networks, and are putting student athletes on the biggest stage every week. And I think that's critically important for all the right reasons. For us, we're with ESPN and Fox, and I think they give us 2 of the biggest platforms available to our college students, and obviously, to our student athletes as well as to our member institutions. Not that I have a crystal ball, but as I look forward, digital will play a role in what we do. Obviously, you reach younger consumers in a different way today, but being on a big platform that can give you the broad reach that they provide and the cross-marketing and promotion is critically important. So for me, there's a huge future with ESPN and Fox, and if we can complement those 2 partners with something additive, seems to make sense. But I'm excited about our prospects moving forward. I love where this conference is going. We've got a lot of work. As I've said before and during Media Day, I want to contemporize the conference. I want to rebrand, refresh the Big 12, and storytell more than we ever have before. I mean, I learned so much today about the golf championships, how competitive we are in baseball across the conference. I mean, our story hasn't really included the breadth and depth of this conference. I mean, you focus on football, obviously, and basketball in some respects, but not the breadth and depth of this conference from top to bottom. And I think that's a story that needs to be told. But just generally speaking, we've got to story tell more than we ever have. The human interest stories are incredible. I want this conference to truly nationalize itself, and we've got a plan to do that. But I'm bullish. And as I said before, we're open for business, not just in the terms of expansion, but how do we identify new revenue streams, and how do we diversify those revenue streams to complement what we're going to do in our multimedia rights negotiations. It's about growing the pie and not relying on one part of it, and that's what I'm truly focused on. Had been spending a lot of time on organizational redesign, so that we can bring in and add to the staff that we currently have subject matter experts that can do some of the things that I'm identifying that need to be done. So I've been really busy in my first 3 weeks, and I'm more bullish now than I was during Media Day, because I see the potential. I'm witnessing it, I'm experiencing it, and very energized by it, in fact.
Now, on these campus tours, are you visiting Texas and OU, or are you not visiting those
My goal
schools?
is to get to every school over the course of the next probably couple of months, including football season. But these types of visits, right now, I've done the 8 existing. That'll be completed by Thursday. I'll get to Texas and Oklahoma at some point in time. And then we're onboarding. We onboarded BYU, and I'll be going to Cincinnati, UCF, and Houston in early September. But I'll get to Texas and Oklahoma.
You mentioned the restructuring of the staff and doing some things like that. You had a guy that was real close with football teams, that did a lot of the football stuff that left for USC. How do you look to replace him?
Well, Ed was fantastic, and I really wish I had more time to spend with him. But as I'm a firm believer, you got to do what's right for your family, and this was the right move at the right time for him. He'd been with the conference for 16 years, and he wanted to get back on campus. But we've already commenced a search with Turnkey. Our candidate pool is off the charts. There's a lot of interest in leading football for the Big 12, and hopefully in short order we'll identify some top candidates. The process will include get those candidates meeting with our member institutions, the final 2, and we're excited about the process.
You mentioned Mike Gundy. How much value do you put in the opinion of someone who's had success and been out of school for a long time?
Well, again, I'm on a listening and learning tour, so when I have a chance to get in front of someone like Coach Gundy, who's a big part of the fabric of college football, and I have a chance to listen to him, which I did today, I mean, my God, I mean, that's an incredible opportunity for me. And I like when they talk about their philosophy and leadership and how they manage, student athletes, how they lead in general. I mean, the conversation was based around that, and I took a lot from it. It was great.
What's your relationship like with Chad and Casey? I know they've been really big supporters of you pretty
Great.
early in this. So what's kind of your relationship with
No,
them?
it's great. One of the things I've always done in my career is I like to manage up a lot, over communicate, collaborate. So I've been hosting quite a few AD meetings. We recently got back from an in-person in New Orleans, and we do Zooms maybe once a week. And I update the presidents and the board on a regular basis. Casey and I communicate quite often. And listen, I work for the board, so it's important for me to make sure that there's no surprises and that they understand the focus and priorities at the conference level, and that I'm communicating that. But they're terrific. Obviously, they've done an incredible job here, and we had some great conversation today.
Have you met Mike Boynton before today? I know he's a New York guy.
Let's meet because the last one's gonna.
Yeah, I hadn't,
Okay.
and it was great because he's from Brooklyn, gets back to New York quite a bit, very charismatic, and really enjoyed. He was. I hosted the coaches for lunch, and he was there.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.